So the NBA Finals is finally set. The Boston Celtics will be taking on the Golden State Warriors. And in today's video, I'm going to give you guys a full NBA Finals preview. I will include everything you need to know about this series. Some hot takes, comparisons, X factors, and in the end, my prediction. So we have a lot of things to go over in this video, so let's get right into it. And be sure to stay tuned so you guys can see who I think will win. So for the first segment of this video, for about a minute or so, I'm just going to go over each team. Some strengths, weaknesses, all of that stuff. So let's start off with the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics started off the season slow and were 18-21. Things were looking bad and it looked like they might not even make the playoffs, but then they went on a tear, jumping up to the 2 seed. After that jump, they've looked like essentially the perfect team. They have a great offense, great chemistry, star power, shooting, an amazing defense. And they've looked really good in the playoffs, sweeping the Brooklyn Nets and beating the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat in 7 games. Overall, the team looks good, everyone's playing their role, and they don't have any legitimate weaknesses. But the same exact thing can be said for the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors were kind of dominating all season, and this playoffs, they've proved why they are contenders and not pretenders. Lots of people, including myself, were thinking the Suns had a clear path to the finals and the clear championship, but the Warriors really proved a lot of people wrong. Beating the Nuggets in 5, one of the best teams in the NBA in the Memphis Grizzlies in 6, and beating the Dallas Mavericks, who've been on fire recently, in 5 games. It looks like they haven't had much challenging competition so far in this playoffs. And like the Celtics, they're pretty much the perfect team. One of the best shooting teams, elite defending team. Their defense goes under the radar. And obviously they have so many players who can just score with ease. And overall, both of these teams have pretty much no weaknesses. And it's really going to be fun to watch Steph Curry and Jason Tatum go bucket for bucket and watch these two amazing defensive teams try their best to stop the other team. In my opinion, I think this series is a little bit unpredictable. Both teams have an amazing offense and both teams have an amazing defense. So it's really hard to tell if the games are going to be very high scoring, very low scoring, blowouts. We've been seeing a lot of blowouts in the playoffs. We don't really know a lot about this series because both these teams are very evenly matched. Please, for the love of God, I hope these games are not blowouts. We've been seeing far too many of these, and I want some close, competitive basketball. It is the NBA Finals after all. Now that I've overviewed the teams, there really isn't anything bad about them. I've pretty much just been praising them. Let's move on to comparing their starting lineups. So starting off with the point guards, we have Marcus Smart versus Steph Curry. Not hating on Marcus Smart, he is the defensive player of the year after all. He's been balling out in the playoffs on both ends of the floor. But Steph Curry is Steph Curry. This isn't even up for debate. Moving on to the shooting guards, Jalen Brown versus Jordan Poole. This is pretty tough. It is kind of debatable, but I'm still going to give the edge to Jalen Brown. Jordan Poole is amazing, don't get me wrong, but I think Jalen Brown just does it a little bit better on both ends of the floor. Moving on to the small forward position, we have Jason Tatum versus Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson's been a great spot-up shooter for the Warriors, really helped them on both ends of the floors. He's an underrated defender, but Jason Tatum's really been amazing for the Boston Celtics, so I'm giving it to him. Moving on to the power forwards, we have Al Horford versus Andrew Wiggins. This is very close. Wiggins is doing good, putting up 16 and 7 with a steal and a block. Al Horford's doing good as well, putting up 12 and 10 with a steal and 2 blocks. And looking at the stats, it looks like Andrew Wiggins is playing a little bit better, but I think Al Horford's being much more impactful. He's been really great on the defensive end and has overall just brought nothing but great things for this Boston Celtics team, and he might be the X factor for the NBA Finals. Andrew Wiggins is great, don't get me wrong, providing great scoring and defense, but I'm giving it to Al Horford. And then moving on to the center position, we have Draymond Green and Robert Williams. Both are pretty unhealthy. Both have pretty similar skill sets, like to grab boards, play defense, and they impact the game in other ways than just scoring. I'm giving this one to Draymond. Don't get me wrong, Robert Williams is a defensive player of the year candidate. In my opinion, I think he should have been in the running for it. But the things Draymond does to this Warriors team, he runs the offense, keeps it flowing, and without him, I don't even think the Warriors would be in the finals. So the Boston Celtics take the players in the starting lineups by a score of 3-2. Not that it means much, but we get a good insight on individual talent. Now before we head into the final predictions, I'm going to go over each team's X factor. But I'm not going to do a certain player. I'm going to do their team X factor. If you don't know what an X factor is, it is a variable in a given situation that could have the most significant impact on the outcome. So basically, what the teams have to do in order to help them win. I think it's pretty straightforward. I hope it makes sense, but if not, you'll get the gist. So let's start things off with the Boston Celtics, and my X factor for them is they have to keep up with the Golden State Warriors' firepower offense. It's going to be really tough for the Celtics to keep up with this offense because they're not a one-man show anymore in Steph Curry. They have Klay Thompson, who will always be a threat from beyond the arc. They have Jordan Poole, who's been really balling out. He can get you a bucket whenever you need him to, and you also have guys like Andrew Wiggins and other bench pieces that move the ball around and overall just make this offense amazing. They have pretty much no flaws in their offense. They have the perfect mix of flashiness with using the fundamentals, and overall they play like an amazing team. So the Celtics gotta keep up with that, and if I could bet on any team to stop the Warriors offense, it would be this Boston Celtics team. You have Robert Williams in the paint to block anything that comes his way, and you got good perimeter defenders such as Marcus Smart and Jalen Brown. So what I'm trying to say by this is if the Boston Celtics do not stop the Golden State Warriors on offense, then they will have a really tough time winning this series. And my X factor for the Golden State Warriors is kind of the same thing. You gotta get your offense going. Like I just said, the Celtics have an amazing defense that can pretty much stop any team. So it's Steve Kerr's job to come up with unique plays to get everyone involved, and you need a bucket on every play. These next 7 games are going to be really tough for the Warriors. They're going to be hit with the best defense they've seen all year. And they really need to adapt to the defense and come up with a game plan that can get past the Celtics defense. We know it can be done, we've seen it be done, but it is very tough to do. So if the Golden State Warriors can get past the Celtics defense and put up points, then I think they can win this series. So those are my 2 X factors for the teams, and now the moment you guys have all been waiting for, let's go into my final predictions. This is super tough because both teams have elite offenses, both teams have elite defenses, both teams have elite players, both teams have, you get the point. They're so perfect and so evenly matched, I can't really think of any weaknesses. So it's very interchangeable. Boston can win in 7, Golden State can win in 7, Boston can win in 6, Golden State can win in 6. I think you get the point. So whatever you think is going to happen in this series, I can't blame you. I could see your point. All I know is we're going to get some aggressive, physical, and very, very entertaining basketball. In the end, I'm going to go with the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. Like I said before, the Celtics have been stopped. Games against the Bucks and games against the Heat, they've really been exposed, but they managed to pull through in the series. However, against this Golden State Warriors team, who first of all is much more experienced, and also they haven't shown any signs of slowing down this playoffs, there hasn't been a team that's come close to them. I think just due to the sheer fact these teams are going to be playing in a 7-game series, I'm going to give it to the Golden State Warriors. Like I said, it's very interchangeable. If you think Boston's going to win, I can totally see that happening as well. This is just my personal opinion. Let me know what you guys think. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe and comment down below who you think the NBA champion is gonna be and in how many games. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.